let's check out Ohio State. Other teams that are contenders for the college football playoff.
Let's talk about it.
Right at the top of the table, and perhaps the most talented team in this field so far, Ohio State. They came out of the gates strong. You get Will Howard out there, transfer from K-State. All he has to do is essentially get out of the way.
Correct.
What'd you like from Ohio State?
I liked how they allowed Akron to cover because on SportsCenter,
yeah,
we were like, give me the 50.5. But what I like about Ohio State, I know it's encapsulated in 1 week, but Ryan Day knows that this has to be the season. That, yes, you can win as many regular season games as you want, but if you don't win the game the week before Thanksgiving, the game against that team up north, it does not matter. And I think Ryan Day knows that this year.
Would you take them or the Big Ten field to win the college football playoff?
I mean, as of right now, we're knee-jerk, we're doing hot takes, but nothing indicative after the first week's performance that tells me it's not going to be Ohio State scratching and clawing for a top 4 seed in terms of a bye week, and then you get to host the game. So yes, right now, Big Ten. Even though
that's the right answer.
Even though, hey, USC looked pretty good.
They did.
And you sort of forget about them. Oh wait, USC now a member of the Big Ten.
They got a new defensive coordinator. They shut down, to an extent, LSU. They kept LSU out of the end zone. It was a bend but don't break. How about just break everybody? How about beat the brakes off of teams? Let's get to Georgia. Let's get to Georgia. The Bulldogs came correct. Listen, another game in Atlanta, they win. Another game, neutral site against a top
in Atlanta,
top 20 foe.
Last time we checked, Atlanta's in Georgia.
Okay, but the Clemson campus is pretty darn close to Atlanta as well. They maybe set Clemson back, maybe set Dabo back, the whole thing. When you look at Georgia, how are you taking the Bulldogs right now? Are you taking Bulldogs or the entirety of the college football field to win the CFP?
I love Georgia. Obviously, we are homies with L. Duncan, so we are sipping the Kool-Aid every single day here in Athens North, Bristol, Connecticut. We're too spoiled after seeing what Georgia does year in and year out. Last year, kept out of the playoffs. It would have had them winning a 3rd national championship under Kirby Smart. That being said, Carson Beck, obviously, in the Heisman conversation after just the season. Give me the field, because the playoff field is expanded. There's going to be so many variables, so many different X factors. And who knows what this playoff expanded is going to look like. Chaos is going to ensue, which is good for us. Might not be good for somebody who's just like, let me just be 1 of 4 in. You get a 25% chance of winning. You open up the odds, who knows what happens.
Man, I look at this, though. I think Georgia's a group of grown men.
Yes.
I think there are massive question marks at Texas. Defensively, they lost so much talent.
Correct.
Michigan's not the same. We're going to get that answer
But just
coming up.
Look at the SEC. Ole Miss, you said Tennessee might be sneaky good.
Yeah. Ole Miss is going to the playoffs.
Texas, and then obviously Bama.
Yeah.
Bama.
There was a ton there.
5 teams.
Talk about Oklahoma. Oklahoma could trip schools up. Like, I get it. The road, I'll say this. The road to the playoff is going to be tougher for Georgia than the actual playoff. If they get there, they win it. So why wouldn't I take Georgia against the rest of the field? I'm taking the Dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, and I get to be better friends with Duncan.
Respectfully
as a result. Let's get to the aforementioned Alabama Crimson Tide. Jalen Milroe returns. Looked great.
They looked awesome
in their season opener.
They looked awesome.
All due respect, they're punching down a weight class in their opener, but they're going to get the SEC slate just like everybody else will. Are you taking? Hear me out. Follow me on this. Bama or a non-Georgia SEC field to win the CFP?
Last week, this would have been immediately give me the field. I'm high on the Kalen DeBoer supply.
Okay.
We have to remember, first and foremost, Nick Saban was here pushing 2 decades. He has instilled the infrastructure, the systems, the processes that funnel talent to Tuscaloosa. Let's get that established out of the way. Coach DeBoer came from a Washington team that last year was playing in the national championship game. He knows how to recruit. He knows how to win in his small sample size with the Huskies. And yes, it benefited him having Michael Penix Jr. being the quarterback transferring from Indiana. But what I saw from them hanging up 60, not skipping a beat in week 1 again. It's just week 1. But Alabama looks good. Alabama looks like they didn't miss a step, and it has a lot to do with what Kalen DeBoer brought to Washington, what Nick Saban left, specifically Jalen Milroe.
And Coach Saban's there. And
correct.
Listen, I don't say this flippantly. I don't say this with even a hint of annoyance. It helps to have deep pockets right now in college football. It does. It does. And the NIL at Bama is among the best in the SEC.
Because what else they spending their money on in Alabama?
But they can still do it.
Fishing boats.
But they can still do it the old-fashioned way. They can still get out there and recruit. And what Kalen DeBoer was able to do is draw Michael Penix all the way out to Seattle when the Dogs out there were a bit down.
Sure.
Where the Huskies were a bit down. And now you come to Tuscaloosa, you got more resources, more pedigree. They lost some leadership. I worry about that down the stretch. But the fact that this includes Georgia, I'm taking the Bama and Georgia side of this coin. I'm not taking.
You know who gained leadership?
Who's that?
This show.
How so?
With you on it.